thermoluminescence, but I will focus on something like more general, rather than no physics and no special chemistry, but all material in the Louvre Museum. It's the most famous museum in Paris, with a very huge museum and thousands of masterpieces in this museum, and they use thermoluminescence. I will show you that in a moment. So first, I would like to introduce you. So this is the main Louvre entrance. It's about a square like this with this kind of building, and in the main place of the Louvre, there is I think for more than 20 years now, a pyramid, which is the entrance for the visitor of the Louvre. And there is also a research lab very close by. Below this part of the Louvre, there is a research lab, and I will tell you a little bit more about what can be done with thermoluminescence in this lab. And my institute in this part very close by. So this is the Louvre, and I am here, and this is also an old school of chemistry. And so this part is this is an old picture of Paris. So the Louvre is there. No, the pyramid is there. And my institute is in so-called the Quartier Latin, where there is a huge number of very old and small institutes. You see the institute is quite small, and I will tell you a little bit more about that. So, of course, there is a lot of masterpieces in the Louvre, famous. And there is also ceramic, plate, potteries, and so on. So very different kind of materials, and with painter and different things. And I will show you what is the interest and some example of thermoluminescence for these activities. Concerning my institute, we are so small that we put that in a so-called Paritech. It's to have like a general name, and it's tried to gather more than 10 institutes. Small institute, it's about 300 students, only 300 students by institute. So they try to gather, and you can see, for instance, Paritech is agronomy. There is a Statistics Institute, Telecom, School of Economics, for instance. HEC is a famous school of economics. And so, for instance, we use HEC is the top, according to the Financial Times, this year Financial Times. HEC is number 1 in the world for the master in international finance, for instance. And for the ranking, we need to be a little bit larger than a small institute. So we try to gather, and that's why oops, sorry, I have to go on this side. So we try to gather very good, for instance, École Polytechnique is also famous in France, and Les Mines or HEC, and so there is and we are the only institute which are in charge of the chemistry. So we are focused on chemistry, and of course, Institut d'Optique is focused on laser, but it's very, very easy to communicate through the Paritech Institute. We have a possibility of exchange of students and so on. So, French education system, it's quite complicated. It was done by Napoleon more than 200 years ago, and he decided to have the university. This is a classical university, like you have here, probably. And besides the university, there is the so-called high school. High school is not, after high school, it's engineering school. We call that Grande École. That means Grande École is high school, but in terms of high-level school. And what's the difference? There is selection here. So the university in France is free. There is no selection. Everyone can go to the university. But the level in the university is quite poor, at least at the beginning. And this is, I will say, the master part. The best students are going from high school to this class preparatory class. And so sometime in some country, you have some selection just after the high school. Here the selection is 2 years after the high school. There is a very difficult 2-year preparation program to go to the engineer school, Master of Engineering. So engineer is not the same meaning as in the US. Engineer is not technical. Engineer mean in France it's the top of the best person. Everyone doing even politics and so on are coming out from this school. For instance, HEC, there is a very competitive. It's a very competitive school, and there is also people are coming from this highly selective part. And you see, after the some people doesn't want to do some to go to the industry at this time or in the private company, and they decide to go to the doctoral study. And this is why people at the university are in competition with people coming from this place. And there is also people who are like a short, within 2 or 3 years, to have a, this is really a technical preparation. So this is a engineering school. It's only 3 years. And after they can move either here or go directly to university for the best student. So I think this is a very elitist way. And this is the only school where they are wearing special clothes and this kind of school. This is, for instance, Polytechnic. There is a few schools they are wearing some clothes like this. In France, it's at the university. It's very everyone can wear what they want, and so very easy to go to university. But after, it's difficult to go to doctoral study and to have a position after the university because there is a big competition with people coming from this part. So I am working in one of these institutes called Chimie-Paristech. So it's a very small institute just in the center of the, so it's quite elitist to be in this institute because there is a very, you see this is only 100 graduate students every year. So you see this is a student from last year. There is a director of the institute somewhere. I don't know exactly here maybe. Yeah, she is there. And this is a woman. And there is only 100 graduates, so very high level. So it costs a lot for the studies are free in France, so the student doesn't pay anything. And to have 100 graduate students with almost 50 professors is very expensive in comparison to the university. The university is the opposite. So, and in the School of Chemistry, we are supposed to do all the chemistry. So there is different lab, and I am belonging to this lab, material for the photonic and optoelectronics. And there is another part, which is material for the memory of history. And this is, they are directly working with the Louvre. So there is direct connection from this guy, Didier Gourier. You can see several papers when I am working with Didier Gourier. He is in charge of this group, directly working with the Louvre, and he is in charge of the analysis of the masterpiece of the Louvre, and etc.